What's up, everybody? Good morning, and welcome to another episode of Spicy Adventures. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about my 1 year ownership of my KTM 390 Adventure, and if I regret selling my Aprilia RS660 a few months back. So it's been 1 year. And 8,000 miles later, she's still running great. I have no complaints, no oil leaks, no gremlins. She rides beautifully. She does light off-roading just fine. And even for me, a very amateur off-road rider, I can still handle the bike pretty well. Modifications have been easy, right? Installing the tail bag system, installing the bark busters and T-Rex handguards, installing the Baja S1 floodlights here. As you can see, I have them on right now. They are a standalone system, very easy to install. Just run the wires to the battery and have a little switch. The Puig windscreen is my newest modification. Before, I had a Air Max one, and I just didn't like it as much. It didn't install like the OEM one. The OEM Puig screen the OEM screen goes into here, and so does the Puig, so it's the same. And I like that a lot, and it seems a lot sturdier than the Air Max one that I had before. The Air Max one was a little bit flimsy, but this one seems very cool. I had a little oopsie right here at the little mini track day I had. The other bike that was strapped down next to mine kind of shifted and leaned over a little bit, and the bar end mirror scratched my paint a little bit. It's fine. She's gonna be seeing more off-road duty stuff anyway, and I'm probably gonna follow her eventually, so I did order some touch-up paint, so we'll see how that goes. But yeah, the stock TK70 tires have held up pretty well, as you can see here. Over 8,000 miles. Yeah, suspension has been great. I've never adjusted it from factory setting, and yeah, it suits me just fine for now, for the way I'm riding and what I'm doing. The chain I've only had to adjust once. I've done 2 oil changes, and the oil changes on the KTM 390 Adventure is very fun. Especially if you get the entire kit from KTM. It's just it replaces like everything. It's really cool. You get brand new bolts and gaskets and washers and filters and 2 bottles of oil. It's such a cool little kit. Yeah, and no guesswork, right? You just pour in the 2 bottles, replace all the nuts and bolts and gaskets, and you're good to go. Yeah, I really enjoy that little kit. This is one of the most fun bikes I've had to do an oil change. Like, I don't feel like it's a chore at all, and I enjoy doing it because it's such an intricate little kit. So good job, KTM, on that. I don't have any problems with the ergonomics because I'm only 5'6", 150 pounds, 30-inch inseam, so I can stand up on the bike just fine. It's a little tall. I'm on my tippy toes, but I'm a fairly seasoned rider now, and it doesn't bother me that I'm on my tippy toes. And most of the time I slide my butt off one side anyway, so that I can get most of my right or left foot down. So yeah, that doesn't bother me. It's fine. It's light, it's agile. The brakes on this bike are really good, and the ride modes are phenomenal. I love riding in the off-road mode because you get a little bit more power and you get a little bit less restriction with the ABS and with the traction control and stuff like that. So that's really cool that this little bike has a couple different ride modes, and you can turn off the ABS and traction control and all that stuff. What sucks though is that you always have to turn the traction control off every single time. It doesn't save it in the menu for whatever odd reason. So that kind of sucks, but whatever. Yeah, and the menu's like real nice, right? The TFT display is so good for such a small little bike. Your traction control always comes on, right? You can turn it off. You have to keep press and close throttle, and it says release button. Then it goes to off, right? Then I'm gonna back out, and then when I turn the bike off, then you fire it back on. Go back to motorcycle, traction control, and all of a sudden it's on again. So that kind of sucks, but it's whatever, you know. But that's why I just leave it on off-road mode, because it limits the traction control, and yeah, I can still do like some burnouts on the dirt and stuff with the off-road mode. So that's cool. Yeah. Yeah, but the fact that you can reset the service and the intervals is really cool. I super enjoy that, you know. So I've done 8,000 miles. I've done 2 oil changes, so I've done it about every 4K. And yeah, I felt like I just kind of keep an eye on the oil and change it when I feel like I should, right? And every time you change the oil, the bike seems to get better and better. I installed the factory, I unlocked the factory quick shifter, and it works great. It was kind of rough at first, but now it's super smooth after a couple oil changes. And yeah, no complaints about the quick shifter at all. It's very precise, and yeah, it's a lot of fun to use, you know. I like bikes with quick shifters. This has a quick shift and auto blip when you unlock it, so yeah, you only need to use the clutch to get out of first gear. After that, you could just blip it on through. So pretty fun stuff. I think my only major complaints about the motorcycle is the kickstand. You know, I wish it was a little bit shorter, because when you're on a certain incline or decline on a street, like if you're trying to park on a street or the asphalt, and the asphalt's leaning like this, and my bike is like this, you cannot get the kickstand down at all. It is way too long. So you always have to find a perfectly flat surface, or you have to find a surface that's inclined like this. And once you do that, then the kickstand has enough room to get down, because you can see the bike's pretty straight up and down. Like you know, I'm on a fairly flat surface right now, but yeah, that's one complaint. And the other little thing is, when I did this last oil change, I was only able to get like 1 bottle full of oil out of the bike. So the oil went somewhere, but it doesn't seem to affect anything, you know. So I just keep an eye on the levels. Yeah, I mean, I tipped the bike over, right? I was like draining all the oil out, checked my level after I filled up with the 2 bottles, and it seemed perfectly fine. And yeah, I don't know where the other bottle of oil went. But you know, I heard that's kind of normal on these single-cylinder KTMs, that oil consumption is a thing. So yeah, just gotta keep an eye on it. And it looks like, you know, the 4K mark is a very good mark to kind of do it, because by then you're getting a little bit low on oil. So yeah, but good stuff. Yeah, no major complaints, you know. So everything it needs to do for me, I mean, that's very minimal, right? Like the kickstand and like oil consumption a little bit, and not too bad. I guess the only thing I wish it had was just outside temperature, the ambient temperature on the dash. That would have been cool. We are in the beautiful town of Felton right now, and getting ready to go to the UPS store and return an item that one of my only sponsor sent me. He sent me some signal lights for my FL5 Type R, but they were white and they had hyper flash. So I told him thanks, but I can't use them because that's illegal and I don't want to get pulled over. Your signal lights must be red or amber in the rear. Right? Your signal lights in the rear have to be red or amber. They cannot be white. So Here's the Safeway that I go shopping at. Yeah, Felton's pretty cool. Felton's a pretty cool little town. Hey, Honda guy. Oh my God, go already. Jesus. Yeah, we're heading to the little town of Scotts Valley right now. Yeah, we did that. As I was saying, we went back to my coach for Superbike Coach. It's like a mini kart track, and this bike was so much fun on that little track. I had to like regain my confidence again on lean angles and braking and stuff like that, and you know, that class kind of brought me back to my 2018 days when I was at the top of my riding, when I was racing with AFM, right, in 2018. And yeah, that was when I was at the top game of my riding skills, you know. And I've just been kind of farting around on the street. You know, I've only done like one track day in the past 2 years, so it was good to get out on a little track and just kind of hone my skills again, you know, being able to pick reference points and tip-ins and brake markers. Yeah, it felt real good to do that again on a smaller scale, right? Like, not to go out and do a full-blown track day, but just do like a little kart track, so you can kind of get the, you know, the sensations and feeling back. So that was cool. All of a sudden I feel like a much more competent rider again. So yeah, you know, if you want to get better at riding, take a real riding course. I'm not talking about MSF or anything like that. I'm talking about a real riding coach, right? Somebody who's been there, done that, who can put you in a true controlled environment like a kart track or a race track, and get you to really experience your motorcycle and teach you control and teach you line choice and braking and, yeah, counter steering and all that stuff. You know, you get somebody who knows what they're talking about, and all of a sudden, you know, they can kind of get you to focus, and they can see what you're doing wrong. But yeah, 1 year of ownership, and do I regret selling the RS660? No, I do not. That might surprise some of you, especially because the RS660 was such a good bike, and I owned it for, you know, a good 4 years before I sold it. You know, and the reason why I sold it was because I bought the Type R, and the Type R was kind of my new speed addiction, right? When I want to go fast around corners and stuff, the Type R, it fulfills that need for me. And you know, having the KTM, the RS660, and the Type R, like, I just didn't have enough time to dedicate to all three machines. Like, I was barely riding the RS660. You know, the only time I was riding it was really nice weather, not like this, you know, not when it's all muggy like this, muggy and kind of cloudy and a little bit damp. I would always ride the KTM, you know, and always to work I would ride the KTM because of the luggage system. Here we are in Scotts Valley. Welcome to Scotts Valley, viewers. They have a Target. We have a Target here in Scotts Valley. We have a movie theater. We have boba here. There's a Chipotle right there. Yeah, pretty cool. Jersey Mike's right here. CVS. Another Safeway right there. We even have a Star Bizux right here. Yeah, Scotts Valley's pretty cool little town. But yeah, I don't regret selling the RS660. Do I miss it sometimes? Sure. Of course I miss the RS660. That was such a good bike. And it was one of the first bikes that I really, really wanted, you know. And after I bought it, it was everything I thought it was going to be. It was light. It was just fast enough. I had a very, you know, usable power curve. Hey, Bass Lake. That's for the Central Valley. That's where I'm from, buddy. Good stuff. Talking about his license plate for him. But yeah, you know, the RS660 served its purpose. And, you know, I kind of don't want to ride sport bikes anymore, especially on the street. And if I do get a sport bike again, it's going to be a... If I do get one, it'll be a really good one. Again, just like the RS660, it'll be something that I really, really want. I'm just not gonna go out and buy like a run-of-the-mill, you know, Gixxer or something like that. Although I do love the 08 to 2011 Gixxers. I love the way those look, but I'm not gonna go get that. But yeah, no regrets, and I love riding around in my little KTM. It's so much fun. It's been super reliable to me. I said no hiccups. It's done everything I needed to do, you know. I don't need any more than this for the street. It tracks along the freeway just fine. It handles the twisties like a dream, you know, because it's built on the same chassis as the Dukes and stuff. So yeah, so the chassis is fine. You know, there's no it's not like it's not a good chassis, you know. And the little Dukes and the RC390 are great little handling motorcycles. So this thing handles the same. I know that the new KTM 390 just came out, but I don't have any plans on upgrading to that one because I think this is more than adequate. It is all that I need. But yeah, well, I made it to the UPS store, so here I am. But yeah, no regrets. I'm selling the RS660. Like I said, I do miss it, but no regrets. This bike does everything I needed to do, and more, right? And I'm still learning on this bike, especially the off-road stuff. And I wouldn't be able to do that if I had the RS660. You know, can't ride off-road. And living up here in the mountains, that's something I really want to do, is, you know, explore some of these off-roads a little bit more. So yeah, well, thanks for joining me on this adventure and short little ride and review of my KTM 390 adventure. Like I said, 1 year later, I still love it. No plans on getting rid of it. Yep. Yeah. But I'll see you guys on the next one. And have a good day. Have a good week. Peace.